Lisandro Martinez for me obviously brings the calm, obviously brings the penetrative passes, but I feel that one thing we'll get from him is obviously, as I said, the composure, the control, but also it depends on the opponent, right? It depends on the opponent. And for example, we are playing Newcastle next. I want to see how Licha is able to control the midfield against a very high intense, not just intense, but physical team as Newcastle. And we'll be having more physical teams. And also, I think what he brings is control. Another thing Licha brings, but I think we need to see more from him, it's not just the penetrative passes, but also the range of passes, which I know he has, to look up and cut it, verticality. He needs to help us to do that. So he needs to help us to know, and I think he's a very, very intelligent player, as we all know. So ability to, as a defender also, he has got into those situations where he can put a long one across. I think he needs to help us with that. He needs to help us with that. So, but I think also for the other side of things about Licha is that to understand is our defensive shape. He needs to help us with our defensive shape in terms of transition moment, right? Transition moment, the position where he needs to be, while as the head of that at the end of that spare in our defensive moment to help us, to give us an extra man, to give us the right shielding, right? He needs to understand that. And also, I think we also need to be very careful now, because if Licha starts in that position, we'll definitely have teams that will try, because it's the Premier League, and one thing about the Premier League is that people look for advantages in the tiniest things. They will try to have second ball situations against Licha. So it's going to be the goalkeeper playing it long to Licha. I know, yes, people might say, Licha has settled that when he was a defender, about people trying to use aerial situations to bully him. But the fact is, it's different when you're dealing with an aerial ball as a defender, where you can just, right? And it's also different when you're dealing with aerial ball as a midfielder. Because as a defender, you can position yourself, and when you know the ball, you might not be cautious about what's at your back, right? But as a midfielder dealing with an aerial ball, you have to be conversant about what is in front of you and what is behind you. So that is very, 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 very important.